What's going on there, friends and neighbors? I am ShinRobjira, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Bandai Movie Monsters series Gamera 1995-2020 version figure. Specifications needed because this boy is absolutely a 2020 figure. Now, I'm not saying this is a complete and total turning of the leaf for Bandai, but I will say maybe it's not Bandai's budget that shrunk. Toho, stop being a bunch of cheap mama! Now I know I'm easy to excite when it comes to the new Bandai figures. Especially when you're looking at the Bandai figure and it's looking pretty dang clean. But just to show that I am absolutely not being blinded by new Bandai figure goggles. This is the Bandai Movie Monster series, barely repainted re-release of the Godzilla 1954 design, and here's our new Gamera boy. Now, I know Gamera's never really been one to be massively colorful, especially with this Heisei design. But I just want you to take a look at these figures side by side real quick, and I just want you to tell me which one looks like Bandai put more effort into it. I'll wait. I mean, yeah, it's clearly this figure. I see a lot of people saying that this is acceptable because they're staying true to the 1954 black and white design. What's all this? Today, Gamera is absolutely king of the monsters. I mean, just look at this detail. The wrinkles on the neck, the wrinkles under and around the eyes, the even eyeballs. The deep wrinkling along the neck and along the side of the head. There's even a lot of really nice detail on top of the head. Can't talk about the head without talking about the mouth, and oh man, this mouth and these teeth and this tongue are just so cleanly, perfectly painted. Even the amount of detail you get inside of the mouth is just otherworldly. Like, that to me is just, oh, it looks so very good. And I know Gamera's got some tiny teeth, so the fact that they're festively painted and not a goopy mess just makes me all the more impressed with this figure. But we can't talk about Gamera's mouth without talking about the tusks. And the paint on them is quite awesome. I really do like that towards the root, towards the mouth, it is a bit of a darker color, and then as it rises is more of a yellowish color like the other teeth. And it is like that on the other side as well. Good consistency there, Bandai. Keep going. Like, that just looks fantastic. Now, when looking at the fingernails on my figure, you can see there is some scuffage going on. That more than likely either happened at the factory or during shipping, because I treat my Bandai figures like a child. Unless it's that god-awful 1954 Bandai Movie Monster series Godzilla figure. That thing just, it sits at the back of the shelf. Nobody likes it. And the toenails look fantastic as well. Granted, they're more of a solid color than the fingernails and the teeth are, but they look good. They're not super goopy. They don't look super duper super sprayed. Like, looking at the bottom of Gammy's feet over here, the toes actually look like they were neatly applied. And of course, we see Bandai made in China, Kodokawa, 1995, 2001. Just an overall fantastic looking figure. But we have one more area when it comes to paint that we have to talk about. And that is the stomach area. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you. When I saw the promo pictures for this, I thought, okay, that's either going to be fully painted or they're going to pull a Final Wars Anguirus and make it just one solid piece of vinyl that they stuck into the figure. But I am very happy to report that that is not the case. This coppery-ish brown, there we go, looks really great on this figure. And one of my favorite parts of this paint job is, if you look close enough at certain areas of the paint job, you can see Gamera's base color kind of peeking through there, and I like that. I know that might be a crying foul for some of you out there, but I think it looks good. I think it looks really good, especially in the upper right titty area. It just works. It glistens. It shines. It, again, just works. Like, you can totally tell that this was painted on and it's not just some random piece of vinyl they stuck onto the figure. Plus, I am not seeing any seam lines saying that it is a separate part. Honestly, I think the only separate parts on here were the arms, the head, and the tail. Speaking of which, when it comes to articulation, you are going to get articulation in the arms, in the legs, and in the tail. with nothing in the head. I will admit, in the promo pictures, it did look like there would be articulation in the head, but it didn't look like it would be good articulation, and this does look glued, as you could probably see from the very shiny little rims over here. But I think it's all for the better. I don't think this figure needed head articulation because it's just fine with arms, legs, and tail. Now, before I go into the size comparison, I'm going to show you more detail because I know that I very quickly glanced over that and it was only on the head and I'm unprofessional and a hack. Starting with Gamera's shell, it looks fantastic. It looks like Gamera's shell is just made up of all of these separate pieces. It doesn't even look solid. It's like pieces of a grandfather clock. They all have their own agenda going on. They all have their own reason for being there. Another thing that I just love is like these just added little detail on some of the shell pieces, like little scorch marks or little, I don't know what you would call them. Looking at the 1995-2020 version Bandai Gamera figure and the theater exclusive 1999 Gamera Bandai figure, you can tell the major differences when it comes to detail. I would have compared this to another 1995 Bandai figure, but I do not have one. I just have this one. So it's essentially a different design, I know. But even when you look at the two tails going up into the shells, you can just see the amount of detail that differs between the two of them. You know, aside from the obvious, and them not being the same design. Alright, continuing on. Beautiful wrinkles and armor plating on the top of the tail. Flip that biz over and you've got even more beautiful wrinkle detail on the bottom of Gamera's tail. I am going above and beyond to show you all the amount of detail that was put into this figure, and it really does look fantastic, and I'm sorry if Gamera looks a little wrong in this position, but the detail is fantastic. It almost looks like in certain areas, especially over here, that there's a bit of like a wash going on. I might be insane. I think it might just be the lighting. But do you see what I'm getting at here? Actually, I'm looking at it through not the viewfinder, and I might actually just be insane. I've said it before, I don't think detail has ever been a problem for the Bandai figures. I just think it was more so a paint issue. And as I'm sure you can tell by now, paint is absolutely not an issue on this figure. I mean, just look at those big green adorable eyes. Who says a guardian and a king can't look adorable? Because boy oh boy does he. Now let's move on to the final area before the size comparison, the tag. Starting off with the tag, as you can tell, it is a bit of a longer and less thicker looking tag. Looking at this 1999 theater exclusive Gamera tag, you can tell this one's shorter and stockier while this one is taller and thinner. And yeah, we have an image of 1995 Gamera 1995. We have the Kadokawa logo going on up here. Looking like a whole postage stamp. Opening the thing up, we get an image of Gamera 1995, mumbo jumbo that I can't fully read. And on the back, we have Gamera and Gyaos. Very nice looking. I like the movie poster tag we got going on here. I think that looks really cool. Size comparison time. 1995 and 1999 Bandai Gamera. Bandai 95 Gamera, SH Monster Arts Gamera 96. Masterpiece and an upset. 95 Gamera and Buttzilla. And our new Turtle Power boy next to the Bandai Toys Dream Project Godzilla 1955 and Angura's 1968. Although they call it 1955, but he didn't look like no 1955 to me. Transition. And there we have it, 1995 Gamera. Again, not a major turning of the leaf for the Bandai Movie Monster series, but to essentially start the year 2020 off with a release like this, a sizable figure with fantastic detail and paint apps that don't make me want to eat a box of erasers. It's a good vibe, it's a good wave, and Bandai, please ride this wave. I know I made a bit of a dig at Toho cutting your budget, and I know that it's probably not that, but hey man, you gotta throw a little bit of shade toward the competition. Am I right, Gamzee? And that is that. If you want more ShinRobjira content, I got a channel filled to the brim with figure reviews and a whole bunch of other things. If you want more than that, I stream on Twitch practically every night. I'm going to be streaming tonight. And I also got some social media links in the description below, as well as a link to my Patreon page where you may choose to support this channel with the tier of your choosing. But anyway, I gotta get to editing this so I have time to stream tonight. I have been ShinRobjira yet again. Hope you enjoyed, and I will see you all next time. Bye, everybody.